ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. We have a beautiful, beautiful sunshine here in Washington State right now, and everyone's happy. That's what it feels like whenever the sun is shining. It feels like people are just in such a happier mood. I'm so excited to bring you stories of hope today and introduce you to some amazing people that are helping raise the vibration on the planet and bring us all good things. So our first guest today, we have a couple, and it was love at first sight that brought them together. It's K.Ay'Nea and Matt Riley. They met in 2003 online before it was really popular on Yahoo. There was an instant connection between them, something that we all dream of. Only 10 weeks later, oh my God, they were engaged and married. And for years, they had put so much focus and energy into a corporate lifestyle that slowly began to take a toll on their personal health. And I'm sure we're going to ask them and on their relationship as well. When life starts to feel like an uphill climb, it's vital to take a pause and reevaluate our purpose. The Rileys went on a spiritual journey that began in 2007. They were very passionate about living a holistic and balanced lifestyle and believed that their best life has only just begun, in which it has. Living a holistic lifestyle includes living as better humans, reshaping the world and the lives they touch. They're here to tell us about it today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kornelia. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and your listeners.
Oh, it's so great to have you. We were talking in the green room before coming on that, what the two of you have. I was thinking about you all coming on the show, and I was thinking, you're so lucky. You're so blessed, right? You're so lucky. You're so blessed to, have what you have and how the two of you came together and that you met and you knew it was the right one, and there was a heart connection, there was a love connection, it was love at first sight. So that's a movie in itself, right? And then you have really you seem to have gone on a spiritual journey that we normally go on by ourselves. You've done it together as a couple, and you've created some wonderful things. So it's hard for me to pick and choose what to ask you, but we are very excited about hearing what you are doing today in your life and business after the corporate life. What did you create in 2018?
Amazing place to start from, Kornelia. So thank you again for the opportunity. In 2018, after having gone through marriage and life collectively and individually, we were just inspired, and we kind of knew, guided, directed that it was time to do what had been in our hearts for many, many years, which was to launch a community. Many people call it's our expo that we run every year, but it really is more than just an expo. For us, it was about building community. It was not just about hosting an event that we had the privilege of now doing and coordinating together, because that had been something that we always wanted to do. But now we were able to bridge those beautiful relationships with so many other people all around the nation. And it just grew truly out of, I want to say thin air, but it was just divine guidance and inspiration. And when you come into alignment with what your soul mission is, and I do believe we have many, but when we both aligned with this vision, it just sparked. And it was so many different factors. It was what was going on in the world at the time. what had gone on independently and collectively in our own lives that brought us to that point. And it's just been amazing since then, truly.
It was
So tell us,
exciting. I was going to say
yeah,
it's exciting because, I mean, we literally decided in November of 18 we wanted to host a show. And we hosted our first show in March of 19. So literally 5 months later, 4 months later, we put together a show. We had over 40 exhibitors, just figured out marketing. Neither one of us are marketing specialists, but we had 800 people attend. And it was such a beautiful support for the community that it really fueled the fire to really take those next steps and grow it to where we are today in 2024. It's really, where I was pointing, it's been so much support from the community and the people around us and really cheering everybody on.
Absolutely. And seeing that there was a need for that, right?
yeah.
We're located in New Jersey, and through virtue of our own life's path, like I'd say the span was probably about an 8-year span where through, again, divine virtue of our path, we connected with all these beautiful people, fellow healers, fellow practitioners, thought leaders, inspirational people that were really just out doing their work. And by building the relationships with all of them, when we aligned with that soul mission for us, they were like, yeah, we're on board. We want to do this together with you, right? There was never that place of like, oh, this is just a fulfillment for us. This was so much bigger than just us, so much bigger.
Yeah, it feels like, like when we align with our vision, when we align with our mission, when we're aligned with it, it's almost like those people were all waiting for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
100%.
Right?
And sometimes you have to give yourself time because originally we talked about this in 2012.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we talked about it and then it came to fruition. It was one of those things that it sat there. With 2012, we were like, we did a show, my wife as an exhibitor, because we were exhibitors for years, and we're like, we'd love to do this together because it really helped balance how we live our lives. But it took 6 years to come to fruition. So it was something that was built, but it was always in the back of our minds. And then when that divine timing was right, we were ready to launch it. So I want people to understand that just because you have an idea and it doesn't launch right away, don't lose hope or sight.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't lose hope. That's what this show is about not losing hope and not giving up on your dreams. I think it's wonderful that we talked about this also, that you two are focused on the same vision and on the same mission, and it all obviously appears that everything is in alignment and everyone was waiting for you to move into alignment with it yourself and then make it available for everyone. So tell us when the expo is, and let's also focus right now and call in all of you that are healers, practitioners, thought leaders, game changers on the planet are here to make the world a better place. We're talking to you. We're talking if you have a business, a spiritual business, an entrepreneur. This is for you. We're talking to you, right?
Absolutely.
So the date's March 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2025. It's at the New Jersey Convention and Exposition Center in Edison, New Jersey. Our website is artofonenessholisticexpo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. Just from a proximity standpoint, people not sure New Jersey, we're about half hour from Manhattan, and we're about 20 minutes from Newark Airport. So it's conveniently located to everything in the area. So we draw people in from the whole tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. People come out for the weekend and really enjoy it. Yeah. And it's growing exponentially and people are getting so much out of it. And that's the biggest joy we have, just seeing the people coming back year after year and really seeing their life expand. It brings us so much joy between the exhibitors and the attendees, the expansion everybody's having. It touches our hearts.
Yeah.
Well, we really needed something like this, didn't we? Where we can come and network this way. And so do you all also have a stage for speakers to speak, or how does that look?
We do. We actually do. This past April, right? We had our show in April. We had 65 speakers. So typically, what we like to do is we reserve those speaking slots for people who are part of the show. One of the reasons why we were really kind of aligned with that vision was because a lot of people who do the show don't normally get an opportunity to be in front of so many people where they're able to express their passions, what they do, what they offer.
Yeah.
And we just find that the show, it just resonates not only with the participants, but the attendees. People will literally visit our website. They'll take a look a couple weeks before the show. We typically try to have the speaker schedule up there, and people will come, stay the whole weekend, and plan everything around the presentations. And we find that because there's such a diverse group of practitioners that are coming in to do the show, there's something there for everyone. So it's not like you have to, go into this space and feel like, oh, well, maybe there's something that just won't resonate with me, because everyone's on a different octave, if you will, of consciousness, right?
Right.
But we love the fact that there is something there for everyone.
And the facility is great too, because how it's set up is we have 7 individual rooms. So really it's not like you're speaking on the floor and the everything's going on around you. These are individual rooms. So it really allows for privacy and really everybody to really focus on what they're talking about.
And a lot of intimacy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also a lovely way to connect as well. So it sounds like you have it, you're getting all of the things. It's a wonderful way to connect with community. It's a wonderful way to be seen and be heard. It's a wonderful way to showcase your skills and your gifts, and also to be authentic and intimate with people.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
It's one of those things too that, if any of your listeners have ever been to a holistic event, right? You often know that you're so overwhelmed because there's so much going on. There's so much energy in the room, and then you're moving from table to table, right? From booth to booth. And a lot of times you don't have an opportunity to have that very intimate conversation with someone because of all the energy going on. And so when it comes to the speaking segments, that's where it becomes like such a targeted, almost vortex, if you will, for people to connect. And there's a lot more openness, I feel, and people tend to be more open because they feel safe within that container.
Yeah, that's so
Right?
great. That's so great. I'm so glad that you all are doing this, and I'm so glad you came on the show today. I'm definitely going to be looking at your website and also
Wonderful.
sending other people there as well that are part of my community as well. Let's tell the audience again how they can look you up and find you on the web.
It's heartofoneness.expo.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're always posting stuff on the social media platforms.
Yeah.
And if you are interested in attending the show, you can feel free to reach out. Email is info@heartofonenessholisticexpo.com, or the phone number is area code 732-508-7990. If anybody's interested about the show, questions, send us an email, give us a call. The biggest thing we're here for the show also is to help people. Some people are a little nervous doing the first show.
Yeah.
And we really try and make it as easy as possible and really there for them and support them all the way through, from the time they want to register all the way to the time they show up, is really giving them that support system that feels like they're not by alone. Because that's the big thing. We don't want anybody to feel alone in this process. Sometimes it's scary enough as it is.
Yes.
But to really be there and be a sounding board and help them in any way, we feel really helps them along the process.
Yeah, and we really feel like that's what makes us stand out just a little bit, because from its inception, we knew that we wanted to be out in front and be amongst everybody. Yeah. This wasn't like we were kicking off this beautiful weekend and then we take a step back. We want to be out on the floor with everybody, because that's where we all need to be with each other, right? We need to align with each other, support one another. Nothing is perfect, right? We put our beautiful intentions out there. Things need to be remedied along the way. And we want to be there for that.
That's wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I want to let you know that we're going to go on break now, and we're going to be right back on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for listening and tuning into the Kornelia Stephanie Show. Our next guest is Whitney Riley. She's a transformational mentor who has 25 years experience transforming life from bad relationships to good, from weight issues to weight happiness, from oppressive grief to lightness of being, from autoimmune disorder to healthy, and from financial insecurity to financial freedom. She has condensed her learning into a powerful, proven method and is here to help others start living their better lives now. She's a certified EFT practitioner, founder of Specific Meditation Technique, and author of 2 books, Make Everything Easier, Get What You Want by Healing Hidden Resistance and Emotional Shuffle. Welcome to the show today, Whitney Riley.
Hi. Hi. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. So you have done quite the transformational journey, and I know that hasn't been easy because whenever we're transforming all the things that you were talking about into a lighter way of being, I know that requires a lot of dedication and devotion to this work.
It does. And oftentimes doing something out of your comfort zone.
Yes. And so now you are helping people overcome some of those same shadows and some of that resistance and you know uh, ways that you've held yourself back or we've held ourselves back to live our best life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And a beautiful way to be, when they say do what you love and you'll never work another day in your life.
Yes.
I am truly living that path. And
Yes.
it's a miracle. Yeah, every day.
That's wonderful. What do you want to let the audience know? Just this perfect thing right now that as people are listening and tuning in, as far as how to begin, how to start, how to, look at their life in a different way.
There was a little pause there, so I got the last part of that question, but I would say that the first step is always start where you are. A lot of times we want to leap into something better or imagine a different reality or find that one singular thing that's going to fix us. But starting where you are is the perfect place because we're not told this, but you're already perfect. You could be just a hot mess, a wreck. You could be, the world could see you as this amazing person, but inside you're pulling around all these bags of pain and self-doubt, or you just don't like your life, or physical illness, but you're perfect already. Perfect is never on the outside. So starting right there and accepting that perfection actually can start shifting those kind of unseen blocks already.
Do you find that a lot of people, because you're doing EFT, do you find that a lot of the people that you serve and support, that on an emotional level, a lot of the work lies, or is it more on a mental level?
I believe that our mind actually creates this construct to keep us away from the root cause. And then the emotions, it's like the chicken or the egg, right? What comes first, the emotion or the thought? Because the thought's going to fuel the next emotion and the emotion's going to fuel the next thought. And we get caught on this hamster wheel and we think that's who we are, but we are never our thoughts. We can't be something that can hold two opposite truths. I want the cookie and I don't want the cookie, right? The brain is just trying to keep us away from the things that are, going to take us down. And it could be just a look your third grade teacher gave you. We create these things where I'm like, well, I'm never doing that again. And then life comes out sideways and we wonder why we can't get what we want. Well, there's this little hidden part that's always calling the shots and keeping us away from that because we don't want that look again. So the mind getting past the logic and getting into the emotion, we can then get into the body and go liberate that little third grader or the infant or, the traumatized 47-year-old, it doesn't matter, right? Wherever that stop, that fracture happens and liberate them. And then everything just starts flowing again.
Yes. And I mean, I know that, a lot of people hold themselves back from really experiencing their best life. And sometimes it's just a matter of, being in the right place at the right time, hearing the right message. And I feel like that is also what it is you're saying.
Oh, absolutely. I can't remember, I'm kind of an amalgam of a million different teachings.
Ah,
My life spiraled out of control into a dark nightmare, and pills weren't my solution. And life brought me so many amazing people. But to go back to what you said, what was it? I forgot.
yeah, I was saying that being in the right place at the right time, sometimes it's just hearing that perfect message.
Right, right. So one of the teachers was talking about coincidence, and there's no coincidence. And this was another little tiny leap of faith I had to take. And it's like, you know what? And I remember the day I did it. I was walking
Oh,
down the street. I remember there's a little grass in between the concrete. I was like, I'm going to live my life like there's no coincidence, that every moment is the right timing, the right place, being here right now. Who knows? Maybe one of your listeners needs to hear even just a little fragment of what we're talking about.
yeah. Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's so beautiful. The other thing that's really inspiring is a lot of people want to experience financial freedom, but don't feel they deserve it.
Mm. So I worked with one of my clients, one of my first clients for a very long time. And he wanted to double his income.
Mm.
And we started working on that. And he started to crest doubling his income. And so I nonchalantly was like, wow, look, you did it. Let's double it again. No skin in the game. No, just like being the person to the way I am. I'm always like, we're living in a field of magic, you
Right.
know? So
Yeah.
claim whatever you want. And he lost his mind, turned around, screamed at me, there's never enough. I mean, he had this thing that was clearly trapped inside of him that got triggered and came out. Within 3 months, he doubled his income again in a way where on the outside it looked impossible. But like these people ended up getting a this thing, the world shifts when you believe and you start moving through your own blocks, limitations, and these program things that we inherit,
Right.
by things people say and what they don't say, by the looks. Oh, they make too much money. It's impossible. All
Right.
these little things they bombard. You're in this every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's wonderful to be able to move past, from someone that has experienced, financial struggle and to now support others in financial freedom and to realize that you too can do that as well if you're really ready to create and live your best life.
absolutely, and it is almost everyone I've worked with has created more money in one way or another, even if their focus is on something else. It has been astounding to watch. And I never know how, I can't promise how that's going to happen, but I watch it. And when we start aligning better flow with our emotions and self-regulating our nervous system, which we don't even know that it's hijacked half the time, all of these other things start just becoming easier. That the title of my book came, all my clients kept saying, well, I don't know how to say it. It just got easier. It just got easier in one way. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the title. So it's in honor of them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just got easier. Where can they find it? Is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. It's on my website, startyourbetterlife.com. Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that a wonderful theme to walk with every day in curiosity? It just got easier. Just that statement alone can relax and calm down your nervous system.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. So it's wonderful. Now, are you on social media as well? Do you have any social media handles that you want to let everyone know about?
A lot of times it's at the Whitney Riley. I think that's TikTok. Uh, I call myself a transformational mentor. I'm not necessarily a coach because it is a little bit different. So the TM is on there sometimes, and then Facebook is Start Your Better Life.
Yeah, that's so great. That's so great. What is the message that you want to leave the audience with today?
You're perfect exactly as you are. You're not your thoughts. You are the one witnessing your thoughts. And hope is just turning in whatever darkness that you may be dealing with right now and believing that there's light on the other side. And when you emerge in that light, you are going to be a version of yourself that is more refined, more receptive, more lovely than you can imagine, more lovely than we have words to describe on this side. So please don't give up on yourself. There's always the next better, softer, more in love version of your life.
Yeah. And what's the title of your book? It Just Got Easier?
Make everything easier.
Make everything. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Whitney Riley, thank you so much for coming on the Kornelia Stephanie show today. We appreciate you. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Our next guest today is Alinka Kislik. She's a Canadian that's now living in Los Angeles. Alinka has spent almost 15 years in the corporate world as an overachiever. Eventually, it caught up with her and she burnt out. A year later, just as she was recovering mentally, she tore apart her ankle and spent the last 2 years recovering from it. When following the doctor's advice wasn't working, she started conducting her own research and began a holistic approach to healing that's backed by science. Soon she realized that for those who have not found answers in conventional medicine, finding solutions elsewhere is incredibly confusing. Leveraging the skills she gained from designing and building software for others, she decided to create something that would connect experts to those in need. Currently, in development, SAHA will match vetted professionals to individuals based on shared values. Welcome to the show today, Alinka.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we were talking in the green room that one of the things that you want to highlight is your journey or something of, when people are in a medical crisis or whatever, where they can lean and where they can find more support.
Yeah, I think it's really important to make sure, especially as women, I think we're often told, like, oh, like it's normal to have that much pain, or it's normal to be that miserable, or whatever it is. And unfortunately, there's actually minimal research for, I don't want to repeat the stats incorrectly, but they're terrifying. If you think about women are 50% of the population, there's very little research for women specific health issues. What that means, though, is it doesn't mean that there aren't people who can help and know how to help. It's just if you don't know someone who knows someone, it's really hard to find someone to help you with what you're going through. For me, I'm lucky enough to have enough of a background in some things to be able to read scientific articles and then know certain people to help through my healing journey, right? But not everyone has access to that. That's not a commonly accessible thing. I can talk about fat soluble vitamins, or I can talk about energy exchanges. There's like so many different things that I'm exposed to that I'm aware of, and not everyone has that background. And so in building Saha, that was the goal, is to when you don't have answers and you're sick of like feeling the way that you do, let's connect you with someone based on shared values and your current need and find you some answers. And I think something that's also a really important part of this, and it's really close to my heart, is as a part of this platform we're building, we're also making sure that each part of our proceeds from day one, a small portion of that will go towards a fund, because the rest, has to build the thing. But the fund will be available for people to get the same access to services, even if they can't afford it financially, right? And I think it's important that, for me, can we build systems that take care of others while taking care of ourselves?
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. I love that model. Tell the audience, tell us who is the person that is like, who is the person that is having the issue, what the issue is, who is that person, what issue are they having? Who is that?
Yeah, it can look like a few different things. We're going to start with a more targeted group. We're defining exactly what that group is going to be. I think initially it will definitely be women, as they tend to be the most underserved, right? We tend to get diagnosed at 30 to 40% later in terms of time, amount of years with any sort of issue, more than men do, if we get diagnosed at all. with our issues, right? And that's a long time to be living in misery. Women tend to live longer, but they tend to live in non-ideal situations, right? Either pain or stress or whatever it is. And so we're defining what that looks like, but what it's going to look like from a practitioner point of view is very varied, right? So if you want to talk about um, someone who is really stressed out, they just need relief. But maybe they've been stressed out long enough and now they want to find the root cause. We will also have practitioners that help you find the root cause. And then it can go from, okay, now that you know what that is, let's help you work through it. Do you need someone to help you commit to the work? Because sometimes we need that, encouragement, accountability. Do you need someone who can then do the work with you? Or can you do the work on your own? And then how do you live your life in a changed way so that this doesn't happen again, right? That can be physical symptoms, that can be, mental health symptoms, that can be all sorts of different things. But what we do is we match you based on where that current need is and based on shared values. And shared values can look like worldview. I joke that I will come up with a better name for it, but right now a sliding woo-woo scale is what I'm calling it. So you have like your traditional, more conventional things, and then you have your more like open to the universe, and you can decide where you're at, and the providers will do that as well. So then you're matched with someone who shares how you feel about the world, and then you're more likely to get the best and better outcomes out of that as well.
Wow, that seems to be a big thing there that you're
Yeah.
creating. It seems to be, it seems, where are you in the stage of creation of how that's all coming together? Where are you with it all?
Yeah, so we have what's called the UI UX or the wireframes, which is just basically the design of the website from like this is where the buttons are, et cetera. We're about, I want to say 80% of the way completed with that. And we're going to jump in development into the next couple of months. The algorithm we're defining now, and that'll be about a month away. And then we're going to be development. The goal is to be live towards the end of the year and early next year.
Yeah. And again, it's still not 100% clear to me
Mhm.
who is the audience. So like anyone that's listening, if they are finding themselves in any type of um, illness or any type of stress or challenge,
Mhm.
uh, is it physically? Because I'm trying to find out who is your ideal customer,
Target
who's
audience.
your ideal client. Yeah.
Yeah. So, right, what we're going to do is launch with a subset, right? I don't want to launch, like, say, we can fix everybody's problems. Obviously, like, that's a lot of people, that's a lot of things, and it's an unrealistic expectation. So, what we're doing is focusing on a subset. It will probably have something I was looking up, what are the top issues? I don't want to save because I want to continue doing more research, but it will be a subset of issues surrounding women's health, and we will go live and say, hey, these are the issues that we're addressing, and these are the providers, that are going to be focused on these issues from various aspects, right? And like I said, different worldviews, different. We're going to launch with that with a subset of providers, test it, see how it does, and add to it, test again, and do kind of like an iterative model. Eventually, it will grow to scale and become much more well-rounded in terms of all sorts of things. But we really want to focus on the most underserved needs of people, meaning when they can't find answers anywhere else, these people exist, and I've met them and I've seen them. They're just not good at marketing, right? The providers, they're not good at marketing, setting up their businesses. So we're filling that gap and bringing customers to them.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of back in the day. I used to have um, I used to get, I would feel like I was having a heart attack, right? This was like back in 2005 or something,
Mhm.
or 2003. I would feel like, and then I would go to the emergency room and they would do all this tests and nobody could ever find anything wrong. And this went on for a few years. Little did I know that it was actually the job that I was in
Yeah.
that was causing the heart pain. And when I ended up leaving that job, I never had any issue ever again. So it was that. Is that what you're talking about?
That is one of the examples. So, stress and burnout is one of the most common issues, along with anti inflammatory diseases that can be linked sometimes to stress. I'm not saying for everyone, but that is actually a great example. So, I went through burnout as we talked about.
Yeah.
nobody told me in the moment, oh, like you're grinding your teeth till you have extreme pain. Like maybe like maybe there's more going on with, mouth guard's not the answer. So this is giving people more of the tools to understand and listen to their own bodies, to know what's happening and know what they can do about it, as well as, there are, when I'm saying address what's going on. In your case, you probably need to talk to somebody, realize you need to quit. In somebody else's case, maybe they have something else going on, right? And so it's just making sure that you're connected with someone who can help you.
Yeah, or somebody to talk to, because again, just somebody that has a different, like you said, insight and awareness to, well, maybe this is what it could be. So I think it's wonderful. I think focusing on stress and burnout is one, because stress it covers so much.
Yeah.
And there's the autoimmune disease, there's that inflammatory for women. So, but stress is a huge piece. So if that's going to be one of your subset of areas that you're going to be focusing on, because that covers so much, that would be a great way to go.
Yeah, definitely will be.
Yeah, let's tell the audience how they can find you and your website, follow you on social media, more info.
Yeah, so you can be on our wait list, both as a provider and a potential client, sahacollective.com. You can email us if you have any questions, info@sahacollective.com. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, saha.collective. And we're on Facebook as well.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a big vision, and obviously a dream of yours to put all of this together. It takes a lot of work. I hope you have a lot of great support system around you, people that are supporting you, and a good team, and that may turn out to be that resource that you want to provide for others in the way that, that are bringing plenty of blessings to the people.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, great. Well, we're going to take a break on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. I'm excited to introduce you to our next guest. And this is how amazing the internet is. She's calling us from Australia, which we have a few guests that come from Australia here on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. But it is like 6 o'clock in the morning there, so she had to get up very early. Karishma, a self-love expert, is here. She's a fierce feminine leader, and through her unique and impactful courses based on the modalities like neuralistic programming and hypnotherapy, Karishma is passionate about women's empowerment. She's on a mission of helping 1 million women around the world by 2025 in falling in love with themselves. With the help of her courses, free trainings, and hypnosis audios, she encourages women on how to improve their self-worth, grow their self-esteem, and unapologetically put themselves first. Wonderful. Welcome to the show today, Karishma.
Thank you, Cornelia. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
It's so good. So you are the self-love expert, and what made you the self-love expert?
My own experiences of how I struggled with self-doubt and low self-esteem while growing up, and overcoming those experiences that I went through, and learning to embrace self-love that eventually made me self-love expert.
Yes, yeah. You had to learn to love yourself first. And
Yes.
so, and you've done that. And would you say that learning to love the self is a primary relationship to have before you can have other relationships that are loving?
Definitely, it's the primary relationship to have, and sadly, it's the sometimes it's one of the last relationship we learn, because growing up we learn our parents, our siblings, and that we are kind of taught to love another person, but we are not taught to love ourselves. So it's sometimes it's one of the last relationship we learn in our life, that we need to love ourselves.
Yeah. Do you find, because you're talking about your mission is helping 1 million women, do you find that there is a lot of women out there that don't really fully love themselves?
Definitely, there are a lot of women. There is because of childhood experiences, self-doubt, etc., what we grew up in, and like we may have been told by parents but that we are unlovable, and I am not blaming parents. They only did what they could do, and if they have known better they would have done better. So for example, if how most parents stress about do well in school, get good grades, and if you do well in school, you kind of get love and praises of your parents. But if you fail, you are kind of ridiculed and scolded that you didn't do well in school. So that is kind of conditional love, that if you perform well outside in the outside world, then only you will get my love. If you fail, I won't. And again, in failing, like in failing has a different definition in the society than what it's in my mind, because failing is like it's a learning experience. We are learning. When we are failing, we are like making mistakes and learning new things. However, in society, we think that failing is bad. Don't fail, don't make mistakes, which is what we are taught in the school world. So yeah, there is a growing up, we learn a lot of conditional love from unfortunately from our parents. And again, if they have known better, they would have done better. But they only did what they learned from their parents, who learned from their parents, and it was kind of passed on.
Yeah, which is, it's so important, if there's women out there that aren't really fully loving themselves and they have children, because if they, because basically you'll just keep that cycle going unless you change it, right? And break the
Exactly.
cycle. I can relate to what you're saying because during my spiritual journey and my awakening journey, I I discovered that I had a root core of hatred towards myself back in the days when I first was practicing the self-love. And I discovered that I actually hated myself. And I don't even like that word, hate, but I had that there. And it was very um, you know, challenging to embrace and release that part of myself and replace it with self-love.
That makes sense. Yeah, I had a similar story. Even though I wouldn't say that I hated myself. There was a lot of self-judgment. I often wondered what's wrong with me. Why can't I, I always wanted to attract a partner, get happily married, etc. That was one of my dreams, and it's still one of my dreams because I am actively dating. I am single currently. But yeah, uh, because I was told that get married by a certain age and find your partner, otherwise you will be doomed for life, because all good ones will be taken by that age. So you have to settle for second best. And since that partner didn't came by that age, and I really desired a happy relationship, so I started wondering what's wrong with me. Why don't I have a partner? And there must be something wrong with me, because people around me my age are getting married and they are having babies, and here I am wondering I don't even have a partner. What's wrong with me? So there was a lot of self judgment, that why can't I find a partner,
Yes. And
which
so
I needed to overcome.
yeah, so you had to be your own partner.
Exactly.
You
It's
had to,
like
yeah,
we need to become our own soulmate
yeah,
before we can become someone else's soulmate.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's just that's a very loving that's the most loving relationship that you can experience, because when you are fully committed to the practice of self-love, like you're offering women, that is an important piece that you're going to be able to bring to all the relationships that you're going to have in the future, which is so important. Yeah. So
Exactly.
let's tell the audience how they can find out more about your self-love programs, your self-love courses, and also your social media handles. Where can people find you?
So they can contact me on my email, karishma@elevateselflove.com. They can check out my website, www.elevateselflove.com. And they can also find me on Facebook, which is, if they write my email, if they write my name, Karishma Gautam, my profile should show up. And I will also send you the link to my profile if there are a lot of same name women, it will be easier to find me if they have the link. I do have a free offer for your audience, which is firstly, there are two free offers. Firstly, they can get a free ebook from my website, which is 10 Secrets to Give Yourself the Love You Deserve. And the second one is a free 5-day coaching offer, one on one. So we work one on one to help them achieve self love. I work one on one with them in a similar Zoom session. So it's online, it doesn't matter where they are. And we talk about self love, limiting beliefs, forgiveness, etc. I help them with those issues that they may be facing during those 5 days.
That's
So
very
yeah,
generous.
if
Yeah.
they are interested, they just need to reach out to me on Facebook and mention that they watch this recording and they are interested in taking advantage of that offer.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's very generous of you. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and for getting up so early this morning in your time. And thank you so much. I want to thank the audience for listening and tuning in to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. It was a great show today, and we'll see you again next week, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Karishma.
You've been listening to the Cornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Cornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.